Hi everyone, and welcome back to Advancing with Watercolor. I'm Gary Tucker. We're continuing our work this week on skies. We're going to be developing a painting that describes a approaching rainstorm that you might see in the Midwest or in any sort of farming environment. To do this, we need to evoke a little bit of drama, and so we're going to be using a wet into wet technique. I've included a PDF file that I think you'll find helpful. It details the painting in stages. That's linked below in the description. So let's pick up our brushes and head over to the watercolor table. Okay, so I've taped down a piece of scrap paper here, roughly 11 by 14. Now I'm going to do a bit of drawing, putting the horizon very low. All this is sky, and then we have a little landscape down here, not much really. And we'll bring in a road. I have a little bit of a rise back here. Very straight for the most part. This is a scene that you would probably see on the plains. Some small trees. Bigger trees near the homestead. That opening is a little better. This is the road leading back, the homestead, right through here. Silo and a barn basically is all we're gonna put. And some trees behind it. So kind of minimalistic, isn't it? And we want our rain cloud to kind of be drifting down through here. We see an opening about here, right? Maybe a secondary cloud up through here. So these are just directionals for me, kind of giving my a guide for my stroke. All right. Let's go ahead and paint that sky. We're going to just use one color, neutral tint, starting in the same manner. We've got a lot, not neutral tint, I'm using Payne's gray, I'm sorry. Payne's gray. See a lot of that here. Here we go. Just starting with plain water, because I want to wet the surface of the paper. all the way down. We have it's a pretty large sky, isn't it? So we have to work rather fast, maybe faster than we're accustomed to. But anyway, putting down right to the horizon. I am painting around the silo and the barn. I'm going to keep that white, and I'm coming right down to the ground level with the rest of this, even across the trees here. Oops. Down to the horizon. I'm going to make sure I didn't go over my barn. Now it's shiny for the most part. I'm going to put a little more moisture up on top here. See how shiny it is? Wide brush. Just a bit of this Payne's gray. I take out a bit of the moisture, and let's make a mark and watch it move. Let's put a bit more through here. Just painted out the silo. Okay, there you can see the barn. Already getting some nice flow to the color. Keep that shine there as much as you can. Let's go a little darker. A little higher. Let's keep an eye on this bottom edge. And then we go even higher with a little darker still. Oops, I picked up some green. You'll ignore that. Let's make sure it's wet up here. It looks a little dry. Just aim the bottle to the top of the page as best you can. And right along the top here. Darker still. That's good. A little bit of a light opening through here. I think that color is going to drift down actually. Let's not fuss too much through here. Let's let it drift down. Everything kind of soft and flowing as though it is raining. See a little bit of open sky there. I wish I had a little more. I wonder if I can reclaim some of that. Yeah. So I just take all the liquid out of my brush and come in and lift some of that. Just a little bright here, isn't it? All right, that's our rain sky in Payne's gray. And while this is drying, can we do anything more in the sky? I don't know. Let's try perhaps a little bit of just a little darkness up here. The very top part of the sky. Okay, that's enough. And let's come now to the ground. We're going to create another graded wash using the flat brush here, picking up color, and we're going to just do this. Now let's pick up some water. And we come close to that horizon. But since the color's still moving up there, we don't want to get too close. We don't want to touch it. Actually, we can go all the way across even the road. Let's go just a little darker in the foreground. No. Let's shape that road a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay. Can we do anything else before we step away? Always a good question to ask. Because it's at a wet state, let's put a little more shadow into the green area, avoiding the road. Like this. Now let's let it dry. Zap it with the hair dryer. All right, the painting is dried. Let's move to our smaller brushes now. We're going to do some details of trees. Same Payne's gray, a little darker. And we're going to create some trees behind our homestead. That should be plenty. And then coming out some more trees. Just to define this flat ground. And if you let's just do trees for now. Distant trees back here. Trees that are closer. Distant trees back here. So that we get a little feeling of the flat ground, but a little bit of a hill in the distance. Like that. We can do a little, few to the road, little dry brush. Tire tracks or exposed ground kind of leading back to the house here. The painting is nearly finished. The only thing I might think to do is kind of strengthen this lower band. And how would we do that? Well, we start with same color. Since we're using the same color, it's not as difficult. I'm just going to start by putting some water through here. More water. And then start to build in some color. Maybe coming across here. And just a little spray bottle. Let's turn this upside down. Just kind of spray the top edge of that. Soften it out. And there we go. Rain approaching. So we control a lot of what's going on down here. Here we're kind of guessing. But even our guesses came out pretty good. In fact, it looks very natural. The way that the color has drifted and kind of zigs through the sky, zigs and zags through the sky. So I think we have a good template for our painting. Anything else to add? We could always do a bit more in the greenery. If we want a little more contrast in the road, let's try that. Since we're in experimental mode, we mix up a light version of this color and come across the field. I think putting a little darker element towards the bottom and towards the right is going to kind of focus the attention a little more through here. So we start by kind of building it up through here, lower, but we leave a little band up near the trees, like that. Do the same on the left side. Oh, we just make the whole left side darker. Like that. Okay. Let's see if we can do something similar now with color.